In Abbey shores where shadows play, the alley whispers night and day. In Abomination alley's grip, where fear and danger tightly knit. Oh, the alley breathes a tale untold of secrets dark and hearts grown cold. Abbey streets, they'll pull you in to the depths where sin begins.
Hello and welcome to Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night. That means we're playing Abomination Alley, or BRP actual play. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me as usual will be Carr playing Teak, Sarah playing Vivian, Patrick playing Leo, Eric playing Michael, and Jeremy playing Salvador. Now, who can remember what happened last week? I wanted to see what everybody remembered first. Just one second. Got to plug in the battery and everything.
Check to see that we're unmuted on stream, please.
I just noticed.
Okay.
So we'll start over. Who remembers what we did last week?
Moira.
We found a dead body.
You did
After
not? A bunch of
hearing-
newsboys found it.
We
The newsboys
investigated.
led
We
us
were
to
taken
it.
there by the newsboys.
That yes.
We
In
had to lie to
investigation,
the
details
police.
matter.
Well,
Some of us
investigated
lied to the police.
the dead body.
So yes,
I
big
was
celebration.
I was in fact very thorough about what I said to the police.
So yes, big celebration. New Year's is a big deal.
We read some runes.
Well, had some
Auntie Jen read the runes.
Yeah.
She is trying to. The man that was murdered, Micky Monroe, local detective, looked at as something of a hero, though that is never a title he was willing to accept. Was part of a group, kind of a traditional group of defenders. In modern day, it's almost a neighborhood watch sort of thing.
Mhm.
Using the old English word Bjorn. And Mickey happened to be the last active member of his group. Some had died, some had moved off, some had just gotten old and kind of, retired out of any sort of real activity.
Mhm.
And yes, with his death, Auntie Jen, probably the oldest person in the city. I mean, maybe on the outskirts of some dryads that are as old as her. And something of a practitioner of rune magic. Had everybody present draw stones. All of you happen to draw the black ones, which were the ones marking you as one of the chosen ones.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed to be convinced there should be two more. But there was no time for her to investigate further that night. Because the police arrived. You explained what you knew about the dead body. Anybody remember how the man was killed?
Arrow to the back.
Arrow to the back.
Very good, very good.
And it was actually a poorly handmade arrow as well.
Yes.
Again, investigation details matter.
Mhm.
I believe Leo. I believe he broke the arrowhead off in the body, though.
Yes, I did.
And there was an attempt made to keep the arrow, but I believe the police noticed.
Yeah. Again, only one successful roll.
That means you're due tonight.
Maybe.
Did you make your offerings to R and Jesus?
So yes,
I think when Salvador gets to his he's got a dwelling, like you said, with the
yeah, you were in an
landlady.
apartment.
Yeah. When he gets there, he's going to take just a scrap piece of paper or something and write down the rune for chaos just on paper. It's striking.
Okay.
He's not doing anything particular with it, just to have it, just because he feels something with this old lady, and it's weird, and so he's going to just tuck that into like a desk somewhere and leave that there for the moment.
Okay. All right, but we had ended at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with all of you kind of stumbling home.
Mhm.
You were supposed to be meeting Auntie Jen for lunch, I believe it was, the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Teak would
At
have-
her home.
Yes, and Teak would have picked people up if they wanted it.
Yes, because Teak has a vehicle, and I believe Michael Anderson has
Yes.
a vehicle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Michael does, but he just walks there.
Okay, it's a decent walk, but not so far that it's
And
unfeasible.
you almost had a scandal.
Yes.
He uses the walk there just to kind of ruminate on things. Sort of mentally going over like all the various runes he saw in
Okay.
Auntie Jen's bag. And the meanings that he saw each one and who pulled what black ones, what each one means, like what it could kind of could I sort of I would have access to to his library. Could I like make an occult roll to see if like there's some meaning from the stuff I've read? Because with his eidetic memory, I don't know if like something would pop up or not.
Runes are not something they share a lot of information with,
I did
or
make a
a lot of information
successful
about.
occult roll last week, so I have knowledge.
Yeah,
on the
you know
runes.
they exist.
Yeah. But this is more him, not so much him going like, what do they do is like, because Auntie Jen did give the meaning of what each of the black runes were. Like, Michael pulled the rune of man, which represents humanity and mortality. Leo got stasis, unchanging power, etc., etc. So he's gonna kind of like work through what each one of those means, if there's some kind of like overarching meaning to it all.
Which is basically what Jen was doing at one point. She had them all out for number, trying to figure out. Was even rearranging like what order they were in, trying to figure out.
Yeah, he's kind of doing that too, like on his walk. There, I don't know if you want me to roll for that, if I can make an occult roll or what have you, or if this is just something that's keeping his mind occupied as he's walking.
Right now, let's say it's just keeping your mind occupied.
Deal.
Maybe if you learn more about the runes as we go on, you can start putting together real meaning.
Okay.
Now, did Michael just take the day off, or did he go into work?
Let's see. We are meeting for lunch. He'll do a half day, and he'll work in the afternoon.
Okay, so he plans to go in after the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, Dorothy is not trying to tag along. Anyone else have anything they're going to do in the morning before meeting with Auntie Jen?
He
What
will.
damn? Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go
Say
ahead.
what he will do, since there is shenaniganry afoot. He's going to kind of like go into his like walled, fenced off backyard, whatever. To where he like keeps a fire pit, and he's going to try to use his pyrokinetic power just to see if he can still connect to it.
Okay. He's been trying to ignore it for some time now.
Yeah, he has. But with active murders happening, and then now we're the great defenders, he's like, I should at least like try to get like that bridge rebuilt just so he can still like reflexively access it if he needs to.
Okay.
Get this bridge rebuilt and then burn it.
Yeah. See, same wavelength, Sarah. So there we go. Nope.
Not a lot of success that morning.
Yeah.
It's almost like part of you is still hesitant to try using it.
Makes sense.
Salvador, on a similar but different methodology, is just gonna make sure his rifle is nice and clean, and then have it strapped around on his back, but from on the behind, so that he has to like move over to like access it instead of just it being right at his front. But if we're gonna be the defenders, I guess I'm gonna be the fucking defender.
The police are going to love you.
I know. He has his paperwork for it.
Yeah, it's not technically illegal.
Yet.
Yeah, you've got next year, the year after, I forgot. We looked it up.
I think it's this year, 1925.
Salvador may be the reason they put gun laws through in Michigan.
I would love that so much.
Look,
But yeah, he won't.
He shot so many people, but they were all considered justified. But still, it just can't have that going on in town.
Not for the muties. He's too good at that. We have to kick him back a peg.
This is what we get for letting him in the army.
Yeah.
And Leo does kind of two very similar things. He does get out his pistol, checks it. He does have a BAR, which he kind of flips it, cleans it, and then kind of reconsiders and puts that one back. It is essentially a light machine gun.
It's like, maybe a little overkill.
And because part of him knew that arrow had to be magical in some way, but he could not feel it.
Mm-hmm.
He actually tries to connect. It's kind of similar to what Eric just did.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be... let me pull up the character.
Does he still have the arrow? I thought the police took it last
The police took it. I don't have Identify Magic. I have to... Oh, come on. Where's notes? That's not it. Under... No. Character...
I just picture we're eating
Character
lunch
sheet.
and everyone's like, you have to put that away. I'm like, it is put away.
Yeah.
What do you mean put it? What?
He's going to attempt to kind of cast Iron Hand. I'll have to look up the power costs, but I'll make the roll.
Alrighty.
Nope, wrong. We need to pull that back up.
Nope.
Okay, sound like it didn't go through. Let me go back to chat.
Yep, that's a failure,
It
which I
went-
believe is just 1 point when you make a failure.
Yeah. And he doesn't get...
I don't know if it's the same as psychic powers, but it's the point cost for a failure is whatever the cost was to attempt to cast it in the first place. So
like
like
I
me,
said, I'll have
like-
to look that
yeah.
up. So
like for example, me failing to cast pyrokinetic means I just lost 3 power points.
Yeah, I think magic is different, but we will double check.
I was like, I didn't know if they were the same or different or not. That's just the rule for psychic powers.
because they're more or less base psychic powers in the book per se. They kind of go more into magic in that other one. Where's magic book? Here we are.
Let's see.
Iron Hand. It actually says touch, passive variable, spell adds damage. Each point of the spell adds 1 point of damage if contact is made, and a +5 to hit. So 1 point. Basically, I spend more power points depending on how much more damage I want to do.
But you were just trying to see if the power works, so you only spent one.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. I have to figure out. I was reading it last week, which is where I had the 1 point from, but I'll find it later.
Yeah, to give you an idea, heal, I basically cast it and I heal HP per power point spent.
Yeah. All right. So some of you are practicing with your hinky unnatural abilities. Some of you are just getting your guns ready. Some of you are doing both. What is Vivian doing?
Checking in with Lilac and mostly just puttering around until she walks to Auntie Jen's.
Have you filled Lilac in on what all went on?
I'm sure when she came back at 2 or 3 in the morning, Lilac probably asked her, and she had to just give her the play-by-play.
Now, Lilac knew Vivian when she was married.
Mm-hmm.
Did she know her before that?
No. She worked at the home where she went when she was married, and then they both left.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, she wants all the details.
Yeah, she
That means
gives them all, maybe embellishes some.
Now, I'm trying to remember when you were when Vivian got married. Was her husband from Abbey Shores? Okay.
No.
So Lilac has not been in town very long. She wouldn't know who. You'd have to explain who Auntie Jen was and the whole shebang.
She probably did not get to sleep until like 6, 7 in the morning, and then just slept till pretty close to lunch.
Yeah, that makes sense. You didn't get the impression that you beat Lilac home by much. Or that Lilac beat you home by much, excuse me. She was there when you got there. But...
And she'll just explain the whole thing. Be like, I'm going to Auntie Jen's for lunch. I'll fill you in on all the gossip when I get back.
And whatever big hero shenanigans you get into.
Oh, it's the first day. I hope it's just going around and doing meet and greets.
Good luck.
Thanks. Just wanders off, and she's just gonna hoof it to Auntie Jen's.
Okay. Teak, how do you spend your morning?
That's a good question, because if it's a day of the week, Teak would probably have to work. So I don't remember if in this time period, if they had part-time jobs, and I don't think they did.
I don't know if they called them that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a mechanic, you were probably working full time.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday.
Okay, so it was a Thursday. Okay, so Teak is going to try and see if he can take the day off from his boss. This is probably going to go so well.
Actually, it's New Year's Day. You just have the day off.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Your
well-
boss didn't have to be there to make sure you guys were coming in. And do you really want a bunch of hungover people working on your cars?
Not really, no.
If anything, Teak is going to be like maintaining his vehicle, and when it's close to time, he'll drive to others and see if they wanted a ride.
I'll be back.
Like to oh god, names escaped me.
I think the only
Jeremy's
people you drove
character
home was Leo and Salvador.
Leo and Salvador's house and see if they wanted a ride to Antigen. Because he wouldn't know if Salvador would know where Antigen's house is.
That's a fair point.
I mean, I assume she would have given
Well,
everyone
that's
her
true.
address.
Yeah, she probably gave everybody the
Yeah.
address.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. But however it comes about, you all arrive on time. When you get there, a housekeeper answers the door. Auntie Jen isn't like filthy rich, but she's doing okay.
Don't get to 200 years old without being a little bit money conscious.
Yep. If you just put a little bit back, the interest alone after 200 years.
Your oaf, I'm sorry, we have to give you modified interest.
That was always one of my favorite things in the old comic books. Captain America was loaded because he got back pay for all those years he was asleep. All right. So yeah, so as you show up in whatever order you show up, the maid lets you in, escorts you to the kitchen. Well, not the kitchen, the dining room. Auntie Jen's sitting there, and there's a gentleman sitting next to her. She introduces him as Jacob.
Hello, Jacob.
Tips his hat to you. He's a city police officer, also an elf. She lets you know he's come by to, have lunch and just talk about a few things. He looks slightly uncomfortable to be there. He's a bit on the young side. Definitely an adult by human standards, and old enough to be working, even by elf standards. But as you tell you, Jacob here was just telling me about the how the investigation is going so far. And then she looks at him like she's expecting him to talk, and he's like, so yes, the arrow wound was, of course, what killed Mr. Monroe. We discovered his car. Let me see if I'll look on the map. So y'all had found him along the creek around here. Well, is it going to let me ping anything today?
That one pinged.
There we go. So y'all had found him around here. They found his car over here on the main drag.
Does that sort of line up with the direction that I was going yesterday when I started investigating the tracks he left?
Yeah, his tracks more or less were following the creek.
Okay. So going towards the car, or going away from it?
He was going away from the car.
Okay.
So he had stopped on the main drag, got out, and was walking, following the creek.
Okay.
Basically, he bled out.
Yes.
Yeah, he was losing blood. He had run the car off the road, and into a light pole, but not like at full speed or anything. It's like he was trying to come to a stop, and they dug the arrowhead, out of the body. He said it was weird. The coroner was talking about how weird it was. The arrowhead appeared to be made out of bone. Leo, that kind of for you, that kind of lines up with how crude the arrow was overall. It was not exactly well made. Bone isn't necessarily the best material to use, though it'll do the job.
Yeah.
Some of the information he gives you, stuff you're familiar with. Mickey's gun had been emptied.
Yeah, we found that out.
Yeah. Like I said, some of it's matching up with what you already kind of knew.
Did they find his hat?
Jacob's like, no, I don't remember anybody specifically mentioning a hat. And I don't remember seeing a hat in evidence. I don't remember seeing a hat with his effects. Because we gathered everything.
He always wore a hat.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, his hat was missing.
Is this has the car been gone through yet?
Let's see, where would they? I guess they just take it to the impound yard initially. They're going through. They're going over it. They gave it a quick going over that night. They're going over it more thoroughly today. They've got it in the impound lot.
Understood.
So far, there was, other than where he bumped into the light pole and kind of bent the fender and the front passenger wheel up. Other than that, there didn't seem to be any damage to the car. There wasn't like arrows sticking out of it or bullet holes or anything. A fair amount of blood inside, but that was where Mickey was bleeding, or at least they're fairly certain that's it. But they didn't really find any other injuries. There was a hole in the sleeve, in his coat sleeve. Coroner says that could have easily been done by a similar kind of arrow. Like there may have been a few near misses before whoever was shooting at him got him. And that's really all they've got at the moment.
Oh, it just happened last night.
So yeah.
It's at most 12 hours old.
From the way the car was positioned, he seemed to be driving north. Well, technically northeast, but so he was probably coming from somewhere further south.
I'm not quite worried about where he's coming from. Where was he going?
Well, where he was coming from is also important. Because if he was attacked on the way to a location, then where he's coming from, that meant that they know where he was and the path that he was going to take.
Or where he started from.
Well, my question is if there was blood in the car, did he get hit while he was driving or before?
How high up was the arrow in his back?
And
Here we
this
are
is
furiously typing notes.
and about to ask for would I be able to identify that and give you a good details because it said it was like almost like it hit his lungs.
Yeah,
How,
it's like
how was
it
he
just
able-
missed the shoulder blade. You
So
know,
it was
definitely
like,
where you would have a hard time. He'd have had a hard time getting to it himself.
I mean, I could see shooting someone in a car, but with an arrow, that's either
and
really good accuracy or luck.
Yeah. How did he get into the car with the arrow in
this
his back?
is part of the reason why I wanted to keep the arrow if possible. Just because I'm concerned that the arrow may have been enchanted in some ways.
Hmm.
And I'm telling this to Auntie.
With an officer in the room.
Yeah,
Well, he's an elf officer,
An
so it's not like he
elfish
don't know
officer.
magic's a thing.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, but still admitting to wanting to hide evidence from an officer. So
Yeah, but he didn't. You know, I mean, he was trying, but he did just
Yeah.
eventually hand it over. So.
mhm.
And to which I just kind of say, I'm well aware of who I am, and trust me, whether I had it or not, it wouldn't have mattered to them.
Uh, I thought I had a handout.
Mm.
But yeah, Jacob's like,
Okay.
yeah, they're definitely not going to, let you keep evidence.
Yeah.
And you really shouldn't. I mean, we need it for the investigation.
I fully understand.
You need it for the investigation. They don't.
But he'll there the precinct has a consultant they can call in for that kind of stuff. He'll mention it to the desk sergeant and see if they can get that guy called in to check it.
Doesn't
The
sound hopeful.
sergeant gets a little wigged out about magic though, so he don't know. Don't know if he'll actually do it or not. Now, and
Yeah.
I'm just a beat cop, so.
What were you doing last night?
Do it now.
What were you doing last night?
Oh, he was partying. He was off duty last night because he was going to be one of the ones up early this morning.
Yep.
Technically, he should be walking his beat now.
Just making sure. It's an investigation. Details matter.
But Auntie Jen, looks around. Well, if no one else, if anyone else have any questions for Jacob, because we do need to let him get back to his beat.
There wasn't any damage to the windows, showing it was shot into the car. I'm just trying to
Through it,
figure
yeah.
out if he was able to get into the vehicle with an arrow sticking out of his back and able to drive.
The best we can tell, and folks checking the car, they were going by where the blood had run. Best they can tell, he was more or less slumped over the wheel. It had to be kind of awkward. It's probably why he wound up hitting the light pole when he tried to stop.
Fair enough.
And then if nobody else says anything, he gets up and the housekeeper shows him.
That's it.
Auntie Jen sits there, sipping her tea.
I'd say
Until
Michael
she hears the door shut.
Michael actually has a notebook and he's writing in it.
At that point,
okay. It's a small like flip pad where he's just like taking notes.
The housekeeper comes back and they, actually serve lunch.
Mhm. What is for lunch?
Probably nothing
Sandwiches.
too complicated. Probably little sandwiches, cut catty corner.
Fair enough.
Some sort of vegetables on the side.
Yeah, Michael, while he's eating, is like eating with one hand, studying his notes with the other.
Teak is sitting on like 4 books to be able to reach the top of the table.
They have a chair with like steps up, kind of set up. Sized good for kobolds, halflings, barklings, all the sprites. Well, it'd be a little
Kids' table.
big for some
Got
sprites. Auntie Jen tells you, now I have no idea what kind of case Mickey may have been working on. But if he was down there in the middle of the night with his gun, he was clearly working on something.
Especially on New Year's.
That seems odd. Not that he was exactly the social butterfly partygoer, but
And I'm certain this question has already been asked. Did he have any office or base that he usually operated out of?
Yeah, he had his office. He was a licensed private investigator or whatever.
He and I have worked together on a case or two in the past. Oftentimes there would be cases that he's worked on where the beneficiary would be sent my way.
But Andy Jen tells you, I can get you the address to his office if you wanted to check it out. I'm sure the police will get around to checking it eventually. It might not hurt if you could beat them there.
And maybe don't rough it up too much. Just take things we may think are pertinent. Realizing there's a lawyer in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Not take things pertinent, but make note of them.
Better.
Glancing over. So just read everything that looks important.
I'm good at that.
Oh. Andy Jen sort of nods. Far be it from me to tell you how to go about your investigation. Whatever method you want to use.
So,
There's a
as nice as this lunch has
ingredient
been,
is crime.
why are we here?
I had hoped to find the other two. But no luck so far.
I'm sure they'll turn up by the end of the month.
Undoubtedly.
And you know,
Ha.
and with the yeah,
Little fourth wall nod, yeah.
Just gently caressing the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm.
do you need a moment alone with this wall, ma'am?
No.
This reminds me that short is like where there's a Tales of Avantris, I think, where the goblin suddenly had the ability to break the fourth
yeah.
wall.
No,
It's like, and a raid.
no
is
one
here.
likes so and so. Please get rid of him.
But he's my best mate. He is.
Alright.
And a raid is here.
A
Yeah.
new people on our Twitch channel. What?
But
I don't understand any of these words in that order.
then she goes, and also I realized after last night, we may not have properly introduced everyone to everyone.
No, we did not, although most of us introduced ourselves to each other.
Must have said-
I know who one of you is. She just kind of extends her hand to Teak, like, Vivian,
Teak
a pleasure.
takes her hand.
Does the same to Salvador and Leopold. I believe I didn't know either of you three. You were all having a conversation, I believe, before.
Salvador.
Does Leo introduce himself?
Yeah, sorry, you cut out there for a second for me. Yes. Leo McCall Moondragon, or Leopold for the proper.
Won't ask for the improper, then I'll just call you Leopold.
Antigen nods. Oh, good.
Now that we've been introduced.
There it is.
As lunch is wrapping up, Antigen goes off. She comes back with the address for Mickey's office. She hopes the lack of a key won't be a problem.
We could probably figure something out. There's windows to his office, isn't there?
There should be.
I guess we'll find out.
It is only on the second floor.
I mean, I have to work on cars. I've gotten good at lockpicking. I can try that.
I'm going to pretend
But
I
you
didn't
bombed
hear
it.
that.
Looks at the lawyer.
You're in this
I'm
just
a
as much as we are,
mechanic.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr.
I'm in this as
Anderson.
much as I'm forced to be.
Fate is a
Should've
cruel
turned it
mistress, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. That's how we ended up with all of you.
Turned up at the right party at the right time, I guess.
Teak's ears go back.
Anti-gens go back just a little bit at that comment.
Oh. Is it really breaking and entering if the man is dead?
Yes.
And we have... Technically, I suppose.
I will slip Teak, I'll slip Teak a bobby pin.
He'll take it.
And you see Leo from what looks like a doctor's bag pulls out several sets of gloves, should it come to it. Because remember, DNA evidence didn't exist back then.
Yep.
But fingerprints did.
Yeah, I was trying to remember when it was that they started fingerprinting things.
Better question. Do
say-
any of us have a criminal record where we would have fingerprints?
No. I am, however, former military, so they do have my prints there.
Yeah, they would have mine as well.
Yep.
I mean, I'm an upstanding citizen. My fingerprints are not on file anywhere.
I'm a mechanic.
First sergeant, and they promote you. They do your fingerprints every single time. It is annoying.
Yep.
Do they at least have washable ink? I imagine that would get tiring.
It's like his fingertips are like slightly lighter than the rest of his body.
Let's see. U.S. police started using them in 1903.
Mhm.
A British magistrate in India in 1858 was using them for contracts he'd write with the locals.
Oh,
Nice.
Either way, we're just checking up on the former residence of a departed friend to make sure there's nothing untowards in there that may embarrass him at another time during a funeral, to his relatives, loved ones,
In the afterlife.
in the
Well, now, this isn't
afterlife.
his residence. This is just his office.
He
Still.
probably just as much lived there sometimes.
She does not know where his actual apartment is.
Maybe we'll find it there.
It's just
Might
a
be.
cot
Are you okay?
in the room.
Are you okay, Mr. Anderson?
And actually, thinking about this, if this is his actual office, you'd have a legitimate reason for going in there, considering you've done work with him before.
When he would probably say when it's during business hours, he does, and breaking and entering is breaking some kind of code.
Teak, could you drive us there, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Michael, he just gets up, flips his notebook shut, pockets it, and goes, I have work to do. I am not getting involved in this.
Okay.
Auntie Jen
Best of
looks a
luck,
little
Bruno
disappointed.
Man.
I have my concerns about that one.
He's trustworthy. Honest to a fault, but trustworthy.
Yeah, he does go to his office and open it up for business hours.
Okay.
Teak will take them to. Well,
I'll
go ahead.
ride with Teak.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's there's plenty of room in Teak's Model T for all of you.
Mhm.
Now, I believe, Carl, you decided Teak's Model T still uses the hand crank.
Mm-hmm. So you just see Teak grab the handle, just full body turn.
There are literally people walking around the street laughing when they see this.
Vivian will
And then you
shoot
see-
the most acidic look.
And then you see how Teak drives, and he's got like 2 sticks, or like a stick that he uses for the
full
gas.
contact sport.
Yeah, it's full contact. Just he's got one hand on the wheel, and the other's like pushing the gas pedal.
Vivian is putting on a good show of like not acting like this is terrifying, but there is a white knuckle grip on something.
Can you let go of my shoulder, please?
Once we stop and safely disembark the vehicle, yes.
It is a car.
Yes. And it's a car, and she just kind of motions to the full body sport of Teak driving.
Clearly, you've never had a kobold taxi driver.
I
Also
walk
clearly,
a lot.
They're worse than I am.
That's what I heard.
there's
They like to go fast.
That's counterproductive for a
Clearly.
taxi driver.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta ride the fare up.
And all things considered, this is actually light. Have you ever driven in an artillery attack?
No.
Teak.
So trust me, this is actually rather calming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're all having a fantastic time.
We're investigating a murder. We need to find levity where we can.
Would that being levative?
Huh?
No, yeah, just kind of motions like, let's get to the office.
To the office.
I just want to get my feet on solid ground again.
And Salvador will will take the hand on my shoulder and move it to my hand, and just be like, "You can squeeze this as much. You can squeeze my hand as much as you want. You can't squeeze my shoulder as much as you want. This has less feeling than this."
So anyway, Teak, you were
Teak
handed
is
the
a very-
address.
Yeah, Tika is also very careful because he has people in the car. So he's like a very cautious driver when he has passengers.
When he doesn't, hot rod.
It might be Sloth from Zootopia. You don't know.
Nice.
That Model T just drift?
Ain't been caught by the police yet. Wait. No.
Somehow, generally.
All right.
There's a reason this is called a Model T and not a Model T.
Love it. We get there, I assume.
There was something called a bootlegger. Was it a bootleg turn? Bootlegger's turn? There was something. There was some fancy driving that got done back in the 20s.
Oh yeah, because they had to be fast and quick to outrun the law.
All right, so y'all travel up here to where his office is. Somewhere kind of between Middleton and Windburn. kind of middle of the road, property value wise. It's a small office building. It's about three stories tall. Like Annie Jen said, his office is on the second floor. In kind of a back corner office.
Just as we get out of the car, it's like, there, do you feel better?
Yes.
Okay. Like, actively, like, works his shoulder blade out.
Oh, you're not going to bruise.
No,
A strength of
it's
10, you're not going to bruise. No.
It's off the car, take out the
it's
key.
It's an old war wound. You're fine.
Kind of awkward pat.
I just said.
The other shoulder.
Okay.
I also asked Valentino, doesn't heal properly?
Who's Valentino?
I have no idea.
Salvador.
That's
Salvador? I mean,
Salvador. I wanted to call Valentino for a second. Sorry.
Writes that down as a potential last name.
That's a middle name.
Undercover name.
To be fair, if anybody in this group knew Salvador's last name, it would be Leo. He might have seen your name on files or any other thing.
Unfortunately.
Or he might not have.
At the very least, he has the initial down. Yeah. It still hasn't healed.
So anyway, not a lot of traffic. And you're not so far north that you're getting a lot of attention. For all being strange folk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit, because this is a slightly more human area, but nobody's like stopping and staring.
What other businesses are in the building?
On the bottom floor, there's a diner. It's not the entire bottom floor, but it's got like the front, facing the street. There's a pharmacy at one corner. It's kind of like, think of a diner taking up maybe 2/3 of the front, and then the other bit of the front is a pharmacy.
Oh, they're sharing the building.
Yeah. And
an SVC.
Upper floors are like offices and stuff.
Yep. Understood.
Any of them have closed for New Year's Day or anything on them?
The diner is open.
diner's
The
open.
pharmacy is closed. And you have to basically walk through the building for the individual offices.
Well, when we're done up there, do we want to get malts?
Ooh, I like
Maybe.
malts.
I'm all for a good malt, but maybe we shouldn't be seen loitering in the vicinity of an area we're about to break into. I'm not experienced in breaking into places, but I'm just saying that might be a guideline somewhere.
Don't get caught. He starts going up the steps.
So as you go up, you get the feeling that most of these offices are closed today. Yeah. Based on the signs on the door, you've got accountants in here. Some people involved in shipping. I think, well, else would fill up an office building, and not all the offices in the building, of course, are populated. But there's a couple where you hear something going on behind the doors, but nothing that really sticks out to you.
And we have this guy. We have this guy's like full name, so we're just looking for where the plaque says "Office of Whoever."
Right. And yeah, you come up to the door. It's one of those got the big glass window, the lettering on there.
Is there a doormat?
There is not a doormat.
Okay. Look, check under the doormat for a key.
That way, it's only entering, not breaking and entering.
Vivian will reach up and check along like the door frame for a key.
That's where I was going.
I would like to roll sense to do that, actually.
Yeah. Okay. If you're gonna roll, I will let you do that. It'd be
And
weird for
that-
like all of us to be like,
I'll look.
And
Everyone
I'll use
fondled the
spot to
door.
look. I'll look
with the
around.
gloves
I'll
on,
use spot to
and,
look for a plant.
Jason?
I don't care.
with the gloves on, I turn the doorknob. Is it unlocked?
It is not. It is locked.
Okay.
I'm glad somebody thought to check.
this is gonna be the next thing.
Yep.
Did you pass out the gloves to everybody?
To everyone that they would fit. 'Cause
Teak has his own.
remember,
You're an
Teak would
orc.
have big floppy ones.
I fumbled that roll.
I have.
Ooh. So Salvador reaches up there and he's feeling around, and you hear a crack, and he's like holding part of the like facing
Frame.
frame of the door
Oh.
frame.
Well, it can open now.
Leave no sign.
Leave no sign.
No, it was just a little facing bit that snapped off.
Yeah, like the door frame,
Oh,
not the
okay.
actual door.
It looked like, looking on the back side of it, it looks like there's a little water damage. Like maybe there was a leak at some point. Who knows
Just
how long?
drop it. It's like it just fell on the floor.
I look up. Is there like a, you know how the top of the ceiling will be like damp a little bit?
And
No, this may
considering
have been a
is
long
the-
time ago.
Okay.
And considering this is the 1920s we're talking about, do they have that window that opens up? Because air conditioning really wasn't a thing for most people.
They do, but it's only about this big, and it's currently closed
Teak-
because it's winter.
So
Yeah.
Teak might be
Sprite.
able to fit it, but or a Sprite, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Teak,
Sprite
you're
could
up.
definitely. Well, Sprites vary in size a lot. Some of them are almost as big as Teak. Well, almost as tall as Teak. Not weight wise, they'd still be a lot lighter. But
I'm gonna
but that'd be the kind of their max, and then they get smaller from there.
I'm gonna pocket this piece of door frame and try to put it in a wastebasket later.
Okay.
And I'm like, Teak, you're up, I guess, and I'll just keep a watch.
He'll have his mechanics gloves and he'll go to pick the lock. Success.
Woo!
Woo.
Yeah.
All right, so you sit there. And you said the rest of y'all are on watch, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you take a couple minutes.
Vivian probably walks. If this was a-
Teak went out if he
Did that fix it?
Okay.
I
Testing.
think it did. It did.
All right, my voice,
Okay.
my connection suddenly shot back up into the green. I was all red,
Yep,
so
yep,
I didn't
yep.
hear
Mhm.
anything except the
Yeah.
occasional robot Sarah say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was robot for a lot of people.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah,
I
it was
hearing
everyone was
too.
robot.
I was playing on a game Friday, not a stream game, but via Discord, and it was doing the same thing off and on. So
But, yeah.
it was mostly did it to us when we were using the video. We all turned our videos off, and it did a lot better.
Yeah, that happens. But while Teak's doing that, is he able to like also listen like down the hallway or anything?
You're having
the
to be
same
pretty
time, or
focused.
focused.
I mean, obviously, if a gunshot went off or somebody started talking in a normal
Oh, yeah.
voice, you'd pick up on it. But you
Just
have to
checking.
you have to stay pretty focused on what you're doing with the fine manipulation there.
I guess I'd keep watch one side and someone else would keep watch the other side.
Vivian is near the stairs.
Okay.
I just kind of look the opposite direction from Vivian and make sure.
All right, but Teak, you get the door open, or get the door unlocked.
He just turns the knob, opens it, and ushers people inside.
Well done. Is there one of those like? Is there one of those like do not disturb little like door thingies?
Is the window painted and clear, or is there something on the back of the window to block view in for the door?
There's one of those pull down shades.
Was it pulled down when we got
It
there?
was pulled down when you got there.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Vivian will pull the door closed behind them all once they're in.
And
Making sure to be quiet
the
about
glass
it.
is also slightly frosted. Like with the thing up, you'd be able to see that there were people moving around in there as long as the lights were on.
No lights on.
Okay.
We can all
how
see.
All right. Paint
Yeah,
me a word picture. How
because
trash does it
the only one that doesn't have dark vision is the one that's not here.
Is the
Most
law-abiding
convenient.
one of us hooglins.
See, it worked out.
All right. Paint me a word picture. How trash does it in here?
It's not the tidiest office you've ever seen, but it doesn't look like it doesn't look like a tornado's come through or anything. It does not look like anybody else has been in here tossing it.
Okay.
But there's
that's what I'm
papers on
looking
top of his desk. There's books stacked up.
at. Perfect.
Let's try not to move too much of anything.
Whoosh. No, I'm just kidding.
We're just gonna pick up these filing cabinets and walk out with them.
You don't need
Okay.
them no more.
Glancing around, is there any notebooks that are like blank, maybe, that would be setting somewhere?
You can find some
Blank paper.
notebooks or legal pads or something.
Is there the standard detective? There's a wall of the city, and then there's
Yeah.
pinpoints.
Yeah.
Like he's working on a case.
Yeah. Spot search. What do we need to do in this instance?
All right.
Yeah.
So there is a map of the city. He doesn't have the whole thumbtacks in it with
Pins
strings
and-
or any of that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Pepe Sylvia.
Oh boy.
What would you like us to roll, Jason?
I believe it will be a search. Let me pull up a.
Status,
Dude.
stealth, stents.
I assume it's like how we're deciding to go about it.
That would probably make a difference. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna go around. Everybody, tell me basically the gist of what they're doing. And as far as the general layout of the room, he's got a desk. There's two, shoulder high filing cabinets. Multiple drawers. He has a Rolodex. Numerous legal pads and notebooks and stuff laying around. There's a receipt book.
I would like to do two things. One, I would do a quick scan of the place, i.e. spot, but then I'd actually like to go through some of his, like, just double checking his paperwork, and this would be a research roll.
All right, let me look. Yeah, research like that would be the best thing for that.
I believe
So you're like going over his ledgers, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
And doing a quick scan of the room too, i.e. spot.
Well, let's do
Just-
one roll at a time.
All right.
So you're doing research
first.
Salvador, what are you doing?
I think Salvador is going to. If he's researching, then I want to bring him more stuff to research. So I want to look around for more like handwritten stuff.
All right, so you're not looking at stuff in detail. You're doing like a quick. Here's a stack. I do a quick through the stack.
Right.
I think this might be important. Here you go.
I'm mostly looking. The only thing I'm really looking at is this like handwritten versus like is this a form filled out?
Okay. You can give me a spot then for that.
Yep.
What is Teak doing?
Is there a trash can and is there anything in it?
There is a trash can. It's about half full.
Okay. She's
There's
going to go
always
through the
something in the trash can.
He's going to look through the trash can to see if there was anything that he was working on that might help the situation in any way.
Okay.
I have succeeded on my spot roll.
I don't know if you want me to do research or spot or
Research the trash can.
Oh, it's the notes in the trash can, but yeah.
I guess give me a research because you're taking stuff out one at a time and looking at it more kind of closely.
Nope.
Vivian, what are you doing?
Oh, that's something I need to do.
If they're moving around stuff, one, she's trying to remember where everything is so we can put this back together the way it was.
Wolf.
Oh,
And she'll look at. Everyone's kind of. You said there were file cabinets?
Yes.
Are any of the drawers partially ajar or anything like that?
Nope, they were all shut.
Okay. Locked?
When you go over there, you go over there and you check the drawers. None of them are locked.
She will make sure to check it using like her scarf to pull it open and close.
Well,
just
Leo
so-
had offered gloves to anybody. You know,
She's
of normal size.
5'6", so
Okay.
they would be like oven mitts
They
on
might be
her.
a little, yeah.
Yeah. She's just gonna use her scarf to open up stuff. You know what? Looking at this from an espionage kind of angle, anything seem hinky? Anything seem out of place?
That'll be a spot roll, I think.
Okay, I do have knowledge espionage. Would that factor in?
Oh.
It's low, but or can I just pick which?
Yeah, you can go ahead and use espionage for that. Since that
Okay.
you're specifically looking like, is anything intentionally being hidden? Has anything been meddled with? Has somebody else come through here like we are and put stuff back? Kind of.
Yeah.
You're looking for that signs of stuff like that. Okay.
Man.
I mean, and if Teague didn't find anything in the trash can, he'd be just on lookout after that.
If she does see stuff getting brought around, does all the handwriting match up to the same person? It look like.
All right. Let me go. Has everybody made the roll?
Yes.
So much failure.
I think Salvador is the only one who won.
Yep. Play to your strengths, people.
All right. So, yeah, Salvador
okay,
got
I
a
fumbled
success.
earlier.
And then, yeah, it was failure. Okay.
much like real life, a room full of failure.
Rude.
You see what you've done, Mr. Anderson?
All right. So yeah, Patrick, you're going through. You're looking at the ledger. Nothing's sticking
Stands
out as
out.
weird to you.
Do ledgers have dates?
Car. You're not seeing anything in the trash can that you think is important.
He just goes to the door and keeps lookout.
Let's see. That was car. I covered Leopold already. Vivian, it doesn't look like anybody's been in here. But the room wasn't super tidy to begin with, so who knows? And then Teak went to the door. Oh wait, first let me find out what Salvador, you've got a stack of handwritten stuff.
Okay.
You're not just as a handwritten, because pretty much any letter you ran across, most letters you ran across, a lot of them would probably still be handwritten.
Sure.
I mean, typewriters are a thing, but most of this handwriting is matching up. Looking the same. You're pretty sure this is all his handwriting.
Okay. It's mostly to make sure he's not. Well, because there's still like fillable forms is mostly where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm avoiding stuff that's like form fillable. Mostly looking at like what looks to be actual notes.
Gotcha. Oh, that's not what I needed. That's the one I needed. All right. car. I need a spot roll for Teak. Or
Teak.
listen, or sense. Let's see.
Sense.
Spot is vision.
Listen, sense, or spot.
Listen.
Yay. Damn it.
Well, it's better than Frontier Space. That would be a crit fail.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right. So you're standing by the door. You're listening. You don't hear nothing until the door flies open.
lovely.
All of us just hands on
Nobody
stuff.
move! Hands in the air.
Human police?
I've got a picture to show you.
Oh boy.
Of course.
Click the intro instead of the map page again. Oops. It does not appear to be a police officer.
I was gonna say, door flies open. Salvador drops papers and also draws back on him.
The bad thing is Teek's at the door. I just imagine Teek is now on this side of the door.
Teek is squished against the door.
He's got like the Looney Tunes like position.
He's just like this against the wall and the door. Just.
So the man standing there is holding.
Hands in the air yourself. You're breaking in here as well.
It's not a particularly large gun. It just looks large in his hand.
Uh-huh.
It is a halfling standing in the door with a gun drawn, cigarette in his mouth.
Salvador
Punch
also
him.
has one drawn back.
Gentlemen, can we go?
He caught you flat-footed,
Okay.
so you can go for your gun, but he's literally got you covered.
Okay.
So
He's like half. So he's probably half drawn then.
So it's like you start to go for your gun, and you kind of catch yourself before you actually put your hand on it.
Yeah.
Vivian will have her hands raised and just kind of step between the groups. Gentlemen,
As are Teek's.
let's not get hasty here.
Seems mighty odd to me that old Mickey gets rubbed out. Not 24 hours later, I find a bunch of ne'er-do-wells pawing around in his stuff. I would have been surprised to get here and the police was here.
And insight to seeing. Well, that's more or less determining if he's trying to lie to us or not. So.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight roll.
I'll get in on that.
Yeah,
since she's
anybody
actively
wants to make
talking
the
to him.
insight roll can do so.
Dang it.
Does she recognize
fumbled.
this person at all?
I fumbled. I'm behind the door. So.
Yeah, you're gonna fumble. You're behind a door.
Wow.
Hey, you said anyone, and Teek's like.
Teek's peeking through the crack, like between the door and the wall where the hinges are.
Gets his nose caught. That's what fumbled. Stop.
No, it's like the little it's like almost like the smushed beak from behind the door. I believe him as it's slowly dragging down.
All right. So let's
Does
see.
Vivian recognize this person at all?
I would ask if Teek does, but
Nope.
Peeking through the door, does Teek recognize?
All right, let's see.
Teek don't see crap.
So quickly on the insight rolls, Patrick. Who knows? He's the guy said what he said, but who knows?
Peak is petering on unconsciousness.
Vivian, the impression you get from him is he's agitated and more than a little suspicious.
Auntie Jen gave us his address and said, check it out. So we're checking it out.
We drew the runes. We drew the black runes.
We're
All right.
supposed to be the
From behind the
he's
door.
going to make an insight
We
roll
drew
now.
the runes.
Sure.
He's more suspicious now than he was.
Could
The who? The what?
Were you at the New Year's party last night at all? I don't know if gossip travels this quickly. She's gonna try and connect this guy, persuade him just to calm down a little bit.
Okay. Give me a persuasion versus
Damn!
versus his
Does
insight.
that everybody?
No,
Is that
she's
everybody?
persuading.
just Vivian.
If everybody starts talking at once, you'll just drown each other
You're
out.
just gonna start shooting.
Yeah.
We were at the ball last night. The children found Mickey's body. We went to investigate with Auntie Jen and several others. Let's just put away the guns for now. You're blocking the doorway. You've got one of our own behind the door.
Hi. Ow.
Close the door, come in, let's talk. You have my word, no one here will hurt you.
All right. He doesn't seem to recognize the name Auntie Jen.
She's 200 years old. How do you not know her?
Does Teak recognize this guy?
You do not.
Yeah.
Sarah had asked if she recognized him. Where was it Vivian lived while she was married?
I hadn't sorted that out yet. We can do an even and odd and see if this guy might have...
Would it have been Chicago?
Sure.
All right. In that case, you can give me a knowledge local roll.
I don't have
Well,
a knowledge local.
that's fair.
I mean, you could add it.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Give me a. We'll just go with a stat roll then.
That's even intelligence?
Intelligence would be an ideal roll.
Okay.
But at a penalty because you didn't live in that other place all that long.
Mm-hmm.
I might also.
So go with the where it says difficult.
Okay. Difficult?
Yep.
Oh, RNGesus, please smile on me tonight. God damn it.
And he
Jesus.
goes, and RN goes, I'm going to give you a story. No, you do not recognize this man.
Can we start with your name before you start, actually firing at us?
Your name's first.
Hey,
Vivian.
Salvador, what the hell?
Full names?
Since she's trying to blend in, give me 1 second. She's not giving her... Why did you give her a fake name? I have to scroll back up and find this.
One of her many, many aliases.
Vivian Ryson.
And you behind the door?
I'm Teak.
And do you mind if I look at the gentleman just to make sure he's not injured?
What's your name?
McCall, which is his middle name.
He won't argue with you too much. Yeah, you can check on the little guy.
Teak's probably fine. It's just
Teak,
like a
you're not
bump on his
entirely certain that this guy's actually taller than you, but he called you the little guy.
Could probably take him in a fight. Look, we're both apparently, all of us are concerned about Mickey, it looks like. Let's start with that we have in common.
And
We're trying to figure out what happened too.
looking over Teak. We have not
He's
made
fine.
a roll yet.
We're doing great, guys. We're doing great.
It's okay. This guy ain't doing a whole lot better.
We leave the D20 system and it's all gone to hell.
You haven't been in the D20 system since Esper Genesis.
Yeah. We can tell you what we know, if you'd like.
All right.
And she'll relay it, what happened last night, up into the police coming and questioning all of them. She will make sure to say it was the human police.
All right, so you don't keep anything back.
Yeah.
All right. He asks a few questions. He asks who Auntie Jen is.
Are you not from here? Anyone that's lived here for more than a year or so knows Auntie Jen.
No, I'm just in from Chicago.
Oh,
Me and Mickey worked a couple cases together several years back.
he was a good man.
Yeah, he needed some help with something.
And
He sent me a letter asking me to come by whenever I could. I'd meant to get here before the new year, but work piled up.
Celebrations.
Yeah, and one of the things we do mention is his hat was missing when we found him.
And he quit. Well, you said you filled him on everything, so
Yeah.
So he knows how you found him. Yeah, he wouldn't have let. Well, he left it behind getting shot at, but
He would have gone back for it if he could.
yeah, but an arrow—that's just weird.
And I'm still curious if they hit him in a moving car, or if it happened before or after.
Well, the car would have had some damage if it had been.
I can tell you we haven't broken in to look at the car yet.
Was that going to be your next stop?
He ran into something.
He just kind of gives a grin. I don't think the police would appreciate that.
I don't think
Considering
the
it's
police would
impounded.
appreciate this.
Well, the police don't know about it.
We weren't going to take anything.
Has he holstered his gun yet?
Roland?
Let's see here.
Vivian is talking reassuringly the whole time, working the... Talk to me.
All right. Insight roll. He's starting to buy what you're selling.
And we also bring up that, if anything, we're here to try to figure out just what was happening as well.
All right. He goes in and holsters the gun. I was a little concerned when I saw the broken door frame, but don't look like y'all trashed this place too bad. Honestly, I'm not sure it looks as bad as the last time I was here.
As I said, we weren't going to take anything. We were just trying to find out information of what he was trying to figure out on New Year's.
It's odd that he was trying to work a case on New Year's, considering it's usually a pretty big day of celebration. Maybe he thought he could catch something while the other people had their pants down. Figuratively.
Yeah, he didn't like divorce work, which is usually when you find that stuff, literally.
Just kind of nods.
So he saunters on in.
Can I close the door?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
He'll close the door.
How long have you been following us?
I didn't. I was just coming to check out Mickey's office. I saw the busted door frame. Figured something weird was going on.
Fair, I think that was not us. That was more water.
Is Salvador still holding the broken door frame?
No. He had
Or did he drop that in the wastebasket?
Oh, he put it in a wastebasket.
Okay.
Like that's the first thing he does when he gets in the office.
Okay. He walks over. He opens one of the windows, which lets a cool draft in. He only leaves it cracked, but first he opens it and he kind of leans out, gives a nod to somebody.
Not alone?
I got some of the newsies down there watching. If the cops show up, they'll start whistling.
Good to know.
They liked Mickey pretty well.
Vivian mentally taking notes.
Yep.
That's a good ass idea.
Vivian like, damn, we should have thought of that.
That
could have saved us all this shit.
Yeah, and considering we've actually talked to the The newsies were the ones that found him in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah.
Well, some of the news. There's a lot of news in town, but yeah, some of them.
I mean, who hears more news and gossip than the newsboys?
The shoeshine people.
House staff.
Um,
all the
So-
little unnoticed people that working in the
Yep.
background.
The gardeners.
you got our names. What's your name?
Oh,
This
right.
is,
He holds out a hand. Zook Marlowe.
shakes it with one hand and then like drops a stack of written notes with the other. This is what we've combed over so far.
He didn't happen to give any indication of what the case he needed assistance with was, did he?
Nah, details were kind of sparse. Or sparse, excuse me. Like he was worried about who might
Intercept the mail.
yeah.
Always a valid concern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes me wish I'd ponied up the money to get a phone installed in my office.
Huh? Things to do for the future.
Yeah, too late to help Mickey though. And he starts going through some of the legal pads. He starts talking. That one's a solved case.
He was coming from. He had a particular scent on him. It was from the processing area for the meat and paper mills.
Oh, that's a lovely place to be on New Year's.
Yeah, not exactly my idea of a fun party either. I don't know if that'll.
Zeke is still listening at the door, but this time he's taken a step to the right.
Out of swing range?
And then, much like Looney Tunes, the door swings the other way now.
Double action door.
But yeah, he because he was not a lot of detail. He was pretty sure there was something supernatural involved.
An arrow made of bone would be a good start.
Yeah, that's another thing that just strikes me as weird.
Usually someone will just shoot you. Typically
Yeah.
with a gun, not an bow and
Exactly.
arrow.
Exactly.
Or stab you or something.
I don't know anybody that uses a bow these days. I mean, maybe there's some sports hunters that do or something. That's never been my bag, though. So.
Ditto.
I believe Leo said it looked like it was a crude handmade arrow, so I wouldn't
was-
place it on a hunter. Maybe someone a little less versed in it. It wasn't machined. It was handmade.
I don't guess the police knew what kind of bone. Probably hard
They
to tell when
didn't
it's carved up.
say.
They did, yes.
The police probably didn't even know it was bone.
No, Jacob had mentioned that it was
Yeah,
bone.
they told
That's
us
how
it
y'all
was
know
bone.
it's bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think any of us asked.
I think
Oh.
if Jacob had known, he would have said.
Yeah.
No, Jacob, a copper y'all are buddies with?
An acquaintance
us.
of Auntie Jen.
Gotta have someone on the inside.
We'll have to meet this dame, apparently.
Yeah, you see? Yeah.
All right, so y'all keep going through papers. Give me...
At some point, Vivian will just help Teak kind of stand watch.
Okay.
She's not getting very much.
Give me. What kind of role are we doing, Jason? Or
Give me... Everybody who's helping go through the paper, give me a search. Or not a search, a research.
Yep.
As you're going through the stack of stuff Salvador
Yeah.
found.
Hey, failure.
Hey.
I'm not infallible.
Sweet Jeebus.
Okay, can I
Marlowe's
amend
got a
that and at least maybe
75 and he
try?
rolls a 91. What's that now?
Can I at least maybe try and say if I fail, I go help Teak?
Or you kept watch for a little while, got bored, and then came over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
See if we can get something out of this.
Hey,
Hey.
there we go.
Somehow, some way, we made it, guys.
Jesus Christ.
Through brute force of rolling, did we succeed?
We're just all
Ain't
like,
that just the
come
way for
on.
basic role playing?
What catches your eye, Vivian, is you're flipping through some pages, and there are some notes on a Corona family businesses slaughterhouse.
Okay. You cut off the name. Did you say Corona family?
Yeah, the Corona family were the ones that used to own it.
Corona, not Corona.
Corona like the beer.
Okay, no, okay.
Corona like the
Corona.
beer.
I was like, okay, no, we're going there, I guess.
So you start digging, you start paying more attention to the notes in that on that pad. Apparently he was investigating some disappearances of quote unquote unimportant people. The way he words it is people that wouldn't be missed.
Workers,
Yeah.
maybe.
Uh,
She'll be copying his notes onto her paper as well while she's doing it.
he found one of the missing people dead. There was some sort of occult type stuff that had been done. He'd called, once he'd figured out what he could figure out, he'd called in the local police. It's not that they were exactly covering up that there was a murder, but they were very much trying to keep the whole weird occult stuff out of the news. City makes a lot of money with all the partying and the New Year's. They didn't want to freak anybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Does it describe the occult stuff at all? Any diagrams or anything she can copy down?
He's got a drawing of us. His drawings are a little crude, but a drawing of what looks like some sort of circle.
And do I recognize what this is, or any particular kind of ritual?
Give me an occult roll if you got a cult.
I do, and let's see me fail this one too. Oh,
Buddy.
just by
Only
two.
barely though.
Vivian is, like I said, copying down any of the diagrams too, just for their own notes to take with them.
So yeah, Leo does not know. Looks like a pretty legit, magic circle of some kind. Might be summoning. Could be. It could be a lot of stuff. Could have been a protection thing.
I also have knowledge rituals. Maybe that'll do something.
You'd have to know what this was supposed. You'd have to know what this was involved in doing
first. Yeah.
We could talk
but
to Auntie Jen. Or...
the notes say that it was painted in the blood of the victim.
Oh.
That's one of those, huh?
The victim was a let's see. He mentioned that the victim was was of the strange folk.
But no specific.
But he doesn't specify which of the strange folk.
Hmm.
We could probably match up dates and deaths, see if we can get a name and anything like that from the papers.
There were also about some other symbols in the area. The one you all recognize because y'all saw it just last night on one of the stones was the Chaos Rune.
Side-eye Salvador?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I recognize that rune.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Marlowe asked you, which one is it? What does it mean?
I don't know what it means. It is
The
chaos.
rune.
Chaos rune.
Oh, okay. Well,
We-
evil
was one of the
human
ones
or
that was
person
drawn.
sacrificing magic, and not too shocking.
Yeah.
It was one of the ones drawn yesterday.
Yeah, Mickey talked about drawing one time. Not the chaos one. I forget which one he said it was. He didn't go into a lot of detail. But he used to work with a handful of folks.
Takes all kinds, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're the new handful.
Yeah.
But the notes also say that he convinced somebody he had found to share some information. And apparently there was something important going down on New Year's. It was something about that date, New Year's Eve, that was important.
Veil between the worlds or something, I'm sure.
Yep.
Maybe Auntie Jen knows, or...
At least we have something to go on right now.
Model's like, all right, what's our next step then?
At least we know what he was looking into. I actually highly recommend, well, since you wanted to meet Auntie Jen.
Can introduce you, I guess.
Yeah, might be the time.
We will call, do we have a decent way, sure, and this is me asking out of care, do we have a good way of getting in touch with her?
You know where she lives.
Yeah.
You could write her a letter.
And she doesn't have a phone, I assume.
You didn't see one.
Did she mention any appointments later today?
No,
Vivian
not
has some
specifically.
cautiousness bringing an unknown person in to meet
That's
a respected elder.
That's where my thought went to.
I think she had some appointments this afternoon, but we could see perhaps about having you meet up with her.
That'd be fine.
Gonna go into my breast pocket and pull out Michael's business card that he gave me yesterday. Does it have a phone number on it?
It does.
Excellent. I will memorize the number and put it back in.
Oh, I thought you were going to give Zoot the card.
No.
No. Here's our lawyer. He'll go through all the details with you.
Here, have our people call your people.
I am my people.
Well,
Are you?
we want this gentleman, Mr. Anderson, implicated as often as possible.
Are you staying in town?
Yeah, I've got a spot.
Kind of looks like. Well, is there somewhere we can contact you once we do speak with Auntie Jen?
Oh, sure. He reaches over and takes one of Mickey's pens, a little scrap of paper from one unused notepad.
Mm-hmm.
He jots down a hotel name, what room he's in. It's not a super fancy hotel, but it's in a decent enough part of town. You give a message, leave a message at the front desk and get it to me.
We'll certainly do so.
As he's handing it over, you start hearing whistling from out on the street.
I believe that's our cue, though. We should probably make ourselves scarce.
Yep, over. Shuts the window all the way.
Yep.
Vivian puts the notepad that she's been writing notes on in her purse.
Salvador will go up ahead and open the door, close it behind him, and find a spot just in case we have to ambush a bunch of cops.
I was actually saying we go upstairs because.
Is it a 3-story building?
It is a 3-story
Yeah,
building.
it's a 3-story building. So we can go. Yeah, we can go up there.
Cover that when y'all arrive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then we could do that. Go up third story. But I will attempt to hide somewhere in this next story, though.
Yeah, essentially ideal. In other words, go down a fire escape. B, wait for the cops to leave.
Yes.
All right, so y'all go upstairs. Are you gonna try to stay? Yeah, the stairwell's not really close to the office.
How many stairwells are there? Is there a service one, or do we?
Well, Zoot's been here before. Yeah, he tells you there's another way down. Kind of the opposite corner of the building.
Mm.
When you get down to the bottom, the door lets out to the back alley.
Yep.
And
or you can step. Well, the pharmacy door would be locked, and I doubt the diner would be real happy about us tramping through their kitchen.
Yeah. Ideal, the back way is the safer of the two exits. But there's also one thing we may also want to check when we leave. Were they the police? Or was it someone else?
I can find that out for you guys. I'll catch up.
Don't get caught.
Yep.
And if you do, forget my name.
And
whenever you say Alabaster.
And and considering our dice rolls this evening.
When I get caught.
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak up and listen at the top of the stairwell. Fumble!
No.
You're all under arrest.
No, Salvador's going to be smart about this first. He's going to
I also have to
hide
out for a second.
All right. Let's see, is it hide or sneak?
He will hide for a moment first.
Stealth.
We're rolling stealth?
Ah, yes, there it is, stealth.
Yep. No, I think just Salvador's rolling stealth.
Yep.
Everybody else is slipping out the back way.
Success!
Hey!
Woo!
Now to roll listen from the cops.
Yep.
Fail.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, and I don't have a sheet with the cops, but I do have their stats handy.
If we both succeed, what happens?
Their success. Let's see, you're the one trying to do something, so their success would cancel out yours.
Weird, but okay.
At that point, it'd be more of a contested roll.
We were doing it by level of success. We're using the level of successes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not the weird thing where you calculate
How much of a success I got
Yeah.
versus how much of a success they got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it don't matter no way. All right. So yeah, you creep down. You're basically saying you're basically on the second floor, standing in the stairwell though, with the door just kind of cracked open enough to listen.
Mhm.
Did anybody lock the door as y'all were leaving? I can't remember if somebody said or
Teak would
not.
have.
Yeah. I think they
Teak
would
would
have
have.
tried to return it to exactly as how they
Okay.
found it, which would include
Mine-
the locked door.
Minus
enough,
the
fair
little
enough.
bit up top.
Yeah. But it's in the garbage there. He could have feasibly done
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
All right. So you hear a bunch of guys walk up. They're talking.
Do they sound like officers?
Yeah, you're pretty sure they are.
Okay.
They check the door. The door's locked. You hear whoever's in charge. Telling two guys, wait by the door. The landlord is on the way with the key. Basically, the rest of you go around, knock on these offices, see if there's anybody else here. Anybody that's here, ask them what they know about the victim. Yesterday was New Year's Eve. I doubt anybody was in. I doubt anybody else was in here at work, but basically canvass the area. And you hear you hear where they're knocking on doors.
Knocking on doors. And what is this third floor? This is more offices.
The third floor. The third floor is that might be actual apartments.
Okay. So
'Cause
still
you had a lot of
something they would
multi-use
probably-
buildings back in the day.
So something they might still canvas here in a little bit.
It's possible.
Okay. Okay. Then it sounds like they're policemen. They're more than likely policemen. Whether or not they're on the take, don't know yet. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to make sure that they were actually policemen. Mission
Please.
accomplished. That's my cue to exit.
All right. Give me another stealth roll.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
no.
Yeah,
By 7.
Mm-hmm.
that's not a bad one. It's also not a total fumble.
No, it's not a
Hey.
fumble, and they rolled crap too. So
Yep.
you are not exactly silent going up these stairs. There's some creaking and whatnot.
Sure, but they're whatever.
But you're not so freakishly loud that
It
they
just
hear
sounds like other people stepping in the building instead
Right,
of
right.
someone actively
Yeah.
hiding. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
While that was going, the rest of you are going out the back way. Go out the back way.
If we were
Marlowe
rolling
tells
an
you.
intercession-
Marlowe tells you. Well, this has been a pleasure.
After you put the gun away, and I'll agree.
Well, once I was sure you weren't there to ransack Mickey's place.
You want to find out who killed him as much as you do. He
Yeah,
was a respected member of the community here.
yeah, he was a good guy.
I liked his hat.
Was a mighty fine hat.
Just let me know when Salvador shows back up so I
A
can
little old and beat
update
up
them.
actually, but yeah, it meant something to him.
I like your hat.
Oh, thank you.
Well, looks at all of them. Gentlemen, I'm going to go see if I can get these notes looked at. I know someone that knows a bit of occult, but they're a bit secretive about it.
You want to ride?
No, I'm fine. I know my way there, and it's not a terrible walk from here, I think. I appreciate the offer, though, Teak.
He nods.
Yeah, they're cops.
Just shows
Figured.
up.
So yeah, Zook wanders off too. Says something about checking with the newsies to see what they,
Just get a riot to start.
see who it was coming in,
You missed the joke there.
You got it.
So yeah, eventually Salvador comes back down. Comes out.
He's just like, yeah, they're cops. Sounds like a cop, gives orders like a cop. It's a cop.
Or the mob. One of the two.
The mob have a very distinct way of dealing with things that isn't canvass the local office buildings.
Well, they're trying to not look like the mob, perhaps.
Fair enough, I guess.
All right, do y'all circle back around to the front to Teek's car?
Yes.
All right,
Maybe you'll follow him that far and then
head off in the wrong
she'll
direction.
walk her own way. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's multiple police cars parked in front of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Orderly fashion. They're not, disrupting traffic or flashing lights or anything. But it's clearly official vehicles. You see one or two officers coming out of the diner. One of them's got a notepad out, so it's like they're probably in there talking to probably the employees. I don't know that they'd care about the customers, but Teek, your car is parked about 2 spaces down from where the cops started parking.
Okay. Teek looks at Vivian and it's like, Miss Vivian, you sure you don't want to ride?
No, I should be fine.
Okay.
He's gonna separate my shoulder at this point.
Oh,
Why?
Hi.
No, he said, why?
Oh. Old injury.
Oh.
He, hope your guy has info for us.
So do I.
Kind of nod.
I'll let you
and
know.
Tip my hat.
Gives a nod, walks like she's supposed to be there, and goes on her way.
Walks casual.
Yeah, walk casual.
Think of
Head
murder.
up. Yep. Head up. Shoulders back. Clipboard.
Act like you're supposed to be there.
He
Exactly.
does the standard ritual of starting the car.
Well, the two officers notice that. One of them reaches over and kind of kind of slaps his buddy. Look at
This
that.
little freak.
Picture Teek chalking his hands and jumping onto it like it's the uneven bars.
If you want to, I'll roll and drive and see if he just starts spinning with the.
No. Basic function is fine. You have to make drive rolls when you're doing something.
If anything, they're surprised someone still uses that.
And that's the comment he makes.
Yeah, they still make those?
I didn't know there were any of them with
What,
the cranks
kobolds?
still on the road. It's probably all the little guy could afford. What do sewer workers make?
Oh, God. I'm on my
Does
planet!
Teek hear that? Or do I need to roll a listen?
Go ahead and give me a listen roll since you're working the crank.
Oh.
No, you didn't
Nope.
hear it. You're too busy.
The Model Teek's being extra cranky and loud about starting.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, well, at least it's not like some of the old tractors. You'd hand crank them, and sometimes they'd catch, and they'd spin opposite way around and break your arm.
Or you
Yeah.
or you get the one that you load a shotgun shell into.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about those.
Those are
Mhm.
fun.
You load a shotgun shell into and let it rip, and the shotgun starts up the engine.
Yep.
Probably somehow where the phrase riding shotgun came from.
Probably.
No.
I
Not in the
think that might
slightest.
have been a mob-related thing, actually.
Mhm.
Probably, but
No, actually,
I think-
riding shotgun actually comes from stagecoaches. Because the guy,
That makes sense.
there's the driver And the guard next to him carried a shotgun.
Yep.
Who rides alongside the stagecoach driver, typically armed with a break-action shotgun called a coach gun to ward off bandits or hostile Native Americans.
Yep, sounds about right.
So that was more like an
Wait.
1820s thing than a 1920s thing.
Yeah.
It's a good day when I don't have to use my weapons. And he just kind of that's kind of the sentiment Salvador has as he gets in the car.
Well, luckily
He
you were
drives
in the
off.
car before Teak started cranking, so they didn't notice the elf walking with the shotgun with the rifle on his back. Like I said, not illegal, but something they would probably have come over and talked to you about.
Yep. Gentlemen, are you familiar with the Second Amendment of the United States of America?
This was America!
Mm.
The
All
that
right,
was
so
always a thing.
Teak, where do
That's
y'all
what it was
where do you
like
drive
back
off
then.
to?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, Teek's gonna ask the other two. Where are we going? Auntie Jen's or
I'd recommend we speak
Mr.
to Auntie
Anderson's?
Jen and let them know that we've encountered someone that Mickey apparently also was working with,
okay?
and also give her some of the information involving the ritual,
Mm.
because she might know more than we do. Well, she probably knows because we rolled ass.
I will say that Vivian did not give anyone the notepad.
Okay.
Teek will take the others to Auntie Jen.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, no problem driving there. Knock on the door. The housekeeper seems a little surprised to see you. One moment. Let me see if the lady of the house can see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Shuts the door in your face politely.
Get the hell out of here!
Out.
Mateo. Teek and doors are never a friend.
And yeah, just a few minutes later, she's back. Oh yes, please come this way. She's in the sitting room. Here, I'll show you.
Waddles on in.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all are ushered into the sitting room. And Jen looks
And
at
we
you.
sit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's like, please come in, take a seat. Yeah. Have you discovered something already? Where's
Teek
Vivian?
finds an ottoman. Sits on the ottoman.
It seems that Mickey was looking into the occult or something involving the occult.
I see.
Vivian went presumably to elsewhere to get some notes about it.
So one of her friends knew occult stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's quite possible. Quite possible.
It
Uh,
appeared while I rolled badly, I would at least. You said I at least recognized it was some sort of like circle, basically drawn in the blood of a victim. Correct?
Well, you recognize that the circle was probably some kind of magical circle. It looked like it was probably fairly
Okay.
legit. You just weren't sure what. And Mickey's note said it was drawn in the blood of the victim.
Okay.
And the victim was of the strange folk, but it didn't mention which one. Which species.
Didn't know which species, and we also point out apparently this was supposed to happen on New Year's Eve.
It involved the Chaos Rune, so there's that checked off.
She seems, appalled by the whole they sacrificed a person to make this thing. Mentioning the whole New Year thing and the fact that the Chaos Rune is involved seems to agitate her.
Because she pulled the Chaos Rune too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not just that. Remember, our people arrived on New Year's, fleeing chaos.
Well, I will say it's funny that Salvador is the one that mentioned that, because Salvador specifically is the one that pulled the Rune of Chaos
That's why he's
from the
mentioning
bag.
it.
Yeah. No,
Storytelling device.
Yeah, I just have it up. I have it up here in my notes, so I'm like,
Uh, Mickey was probably right. This probably means something.
Most likely.
And we also bring up Mr. Zoot.
There was a halfling gentleman named Zoot who drew on us, but we talked him down. Apparently he worked
Zoot
with Mickey.
Marlowe.
Apparently he worked with Mickey a lot.
Because apparently Mickey had called him, or they didn't call him, but essentially he sent a letter requesting his help in regards to the case he was working on.
He must have been really concerned that he was in over his head. I wonder why he didn't come to any of us.
He didn't know you.
What? Mickey knew me. What do you do?
Zoot didn't know.
Zoot
Zoot's
didn't
from
Oh,
know
no,
you.
Chicago.
I have no idea who Mr. Marlowe is.
He's from Chicago, I guess.
Okay. Oh, yes, I do remember Mickey. There was some sort of kidnapping something between the two cities. Yes. I knew Mickey had worked with somebody on that case. I didn't know who. I really didn't pay close attention to Mickey's mundane cases. But do you fill her in on like everything else you discovered?
More or less, yeah.
So if he was investigating this, if this slaughterhouse was the, if the slaughterhouse was the place he was investigating, that might explain the smell.
Yeah.
And I also asked, it was pronounced, and you said the name was like the Corona family.
Right.
Are you?
Corona, yeah.
Yeah, the slaughterhouse was owned by the Corona family, and they had a tendency of labeling. You know, they used to own back when they were a relatively big family in town. The family's more or less died out now, and the company's been sold. But it was still the Corona family. You know, it'd be the Corona family of businesses.
Okay.
And they had, slaughterhouses, meat packing. They branched out into some other stuff too, but that was kind of the big thing. And like Annie Jen does not have any information to give you on the particulars of slaughterhouses. That's just not her.
Yeah.
If you mention Corona family businesses, she's seen other businesses that had that kind of sign on there. But
Did Teak have to work on any of the vehicles?
Let me give it a roll. This is a big city. I'm going to say a 33 or less. Than he did. And it is a 73 somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought I'd ask, see if you.
Yeah, that's fine. But big town. You're not the only mechanic in town.
Yep.
But so Annie Jen tells you, well, the next time you speak to Vivian, whatever information she's managed to gather, please come by, have her come by and share it with me if she would. I realize I may be being a bit of a mother hen, kind of hovering over you in this, but you're just getting started on your path, and And you're not up to full strength yet.
I also just got here.
Oh, yes, you're new to the city completely.
So I will appreciate whatever assistance is given.
But yeah, that she really didn't have anything extra useful to. She doesn't really know a lot about sacrificial magic kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should go talk to Mr. Anderson. He might know something. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah,
He's a lawyer.
perhaps he'd be willing to help out. Now that the
Now that the criminal aspect is done.
yes, I think he might have been a little hesitant, given his profession, a little hesitant to cross certain lines.
Got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yes. There's a difference between justice and law. On a good day, they work. They work side by side. And while this city is no Chicago, it doesn't always work like that here.
Good to know.
All right, so when y'all leave Annie Jen's, what is y'all's plan?
Switch the scene to whatever Sarah's doing.
Well, let me jump over to Michael briefly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Anderson, you're in your office. It's New Year's Day. The courts are closed.
Yeah, he mostly is just doing like clerical stuff.
A visitor comes to you.
There is a knock on the door.
Mm-hmm. Is Dorothy in?
No, it's New Year's Day.
Okay. Yeah, he's still working. He's like, come in.
Young man opens the door, looks in. I have a letter for you, sir. I'll need you to sign for it. It's a courier.
Okay. Bring it here.
He comes over, he hands it to you. He's got the little thing for you to sign.
And signs it.
He waits for his tip.
Yeah, he tips him.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy your New Year's.
Oh, Happy New Year, sir.
Yeah. Please make sure to close the front door on your way out.
Oh, yes, sir. And you hear a firm, not slamming it, but a firm.
He checks the letter.
It is the. It's another lawyer. Somebody that does like. What would it be? Wills, estates, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not really a branch of law you have much involved in.
Yeah. He's more criminal prosecutor.
Was he prosecutor or defense?
He primarily operates as a criminal prosecutor, but has taken jobs as a defense attorney before.
Okay. So he's worked both sides of that. Okay.
Yeah. He's more one than the other, but he has worked both sides of the aisle.
So anyway, this fellow is he is contacting you to let you know that Mr. Cornelius has passed. He is the executor of Mr. Cornelius's estate. Mr. Cornelius was involved in one of your cases. He was your star witness, basically.
One moment. Writing notes.
Yeah.
So Mr. Cornelius.
Mm-hmm.
This passed.
He,
Okay.
he sadly fell down some stairs and landed on 39 bullets in his back.
No, he died quite suddenly in his sleep. Mr. Cornelius was only about 35, seemed to be in good health. His wife found him that morning. And it's really just letting you know because of the case you're working on.
Mm-hmm. Is it an active case or a previous one?
Oh no, it was an active case. Like
Active case,
he was
okay.
he was going to be the star witness.
Gotcha.
Against a Estella Voss.
Oh, sorry. 1, 2. So adjusting notes. Star.
I got you.
Witness in
I just realized I have not put her in a handout. Oopsie.
case against. You said Stella Voss.
Estella Voss.
Estella Voss.
Estella.
Okay. So there's a handout.
Do I have one of her handy?
Part of me going, I'm taking notes. Also, part of me going, I'm being forced to take notes because of the background.
You did this to
You
yourself.
chose
I did. Yes, I did.
You chose it and then realized, oh man.
You let the evil in.
On the plus side, you need to know what's happening of stuff that he's ever seen or witnessed, ever. I mean, I have notes. I can literally, depending on how many PowerPoints I use, even like go back if I feel really weird, like to his birth.
Let's not go that far back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a bit much. That's probably a bit.
It
much.
is a bit much.
All right, we need you to go back. Mama, I've made Boom Boom. Too far back.
She looks just very polite and charming.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of this campaign, I expect a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, so I need to add. So since there's a handout, I need to add her to my people of interest list.
Yes, Estella Voss is definitely a person of interest.
Okay.
Here. You're going to have the wall of pins and like red lines for everything, aren't you?
Yeah, actually, probably. How do I word working against an active criminal case?
But yes, the charges you were bringing up against her, she was being accused of beating one of her hired, servants. I guess is as good a word as any for it.
So
beating one of her
battery.
servants to death.
Oh, jeez.
She sounds.
Nope, that's manslaughter.
Yep.
Now she claims, of course, her claims are that there was some kind of accident and the woman,
Fell on
She
her
tripped.
fist 45
fell
times.
down the stairs, sort of thing. Mr. Cornelius was the only person that you could find that was willing to testify.
Okay, and then he's just very suddenly dead.
Yes, just passed in his sleep. It's a true tragedy.
Passed in his sleep.
Yep.
Passed in his sleep from massive head trauma.
Or
Passed in his
poisoning.
sleep from suffocation. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Was sleep apnea a diagnosis back then?
I don't
Oh, yeah.
know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't get a good night's rest? Take this serum.
Here,
So-
try drugs.
So basically, he reads the letter, folds it back up, sets it on the table, and just
Take these morphine pills and call me tomorrow.
Yeah, sleep apnea got defined in 65. Okay.
Yeah.
Got a few
Uh,
years.
So, of course, this is suspicious. But without him, the case is probably going to fall apart.
yeah.
You know, everyone else in her employment claims not to have seen anything.
hmm
Now, several of them found it so upsetting that they no longer, that they've left her employment, but
hmm
they're not talking.
They don't also want to die mysteriously in their sleep.
Yeah.
Respect.
Mr. Cornelius was, in fact, not staying at home.
hmm
Uh,
It's also 9:31, Jason. Just so you know.
oh, yes.
I'm on for
Ah,
calling later if anyone else
I
is.
really meant to get y'all to the slaughterhouse tonight. Oh, well.
Well, Sarah did want to do something too. So
Oh, yes. Well, we'll take a couple minutes if nobody needs to rush off.
Yeah, I don't
Yep,
need to rush
I'm
off.
good.
All right.
I don't.
So, Mr. Anderson is sitting there, with realizing one of his cases is falling apart, and then we will cut to Vivian.
She will probably be knocking on the door as the courier is walking out.
Of course. The man who knows the cult.
Yep.
All right. So basically, you're going up the stairs. As you're walking up, you see this, this kid. Basically, he may be 20. He shuts the door. He jots down the stairs about, the like 2 or 3 steps down to the street. As he passes you, he sort of tips his hat, man.
Gives a little smile and a nod. Good day.
He's human, but he doesn't seem to bat an eye at you being an elf. So.
She's probably got her hat down far
Oh,
enough
well,
it
that's
doesn't really
fair.
show the ears.
That's fair. Michael, you've had just enough time to read. Actually,
Yeah.
does Vivian knock or does she just walk right in?
She would at least knock.
Okay. So you just finished folding the letter up.
Yeah.
And there's another knock at the door.
Come in.
Hello. I came to let you know we're not all in jail.
Well, that's a good start. What'd you need?
Well, out of the current makeup of the group, you seem to know most of the occult better than they do.
I'm assuming that's what you found.
Yes, and she will open up the notepad to the drawn diagrams.
Want me to make an
Circle.
occult roll?
Drawn in the victim's blood.
Want me to make an occult roll, Jason?
Yes, make an occult roll.
Oh.
Also a failure.
We're rolling like shit.
Yeah.
It is not a form of magic you've seen much about. Which, to be fair, you probably focus more on your own, trying to figure out your own stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, you recognize the Chaos Rune.
Mm-hmm. Well, this isn't a form of magic I recognize.
No, it was worth a shot.
I mean, I can always take it with me and do some research. I do have a library.
I haven't shown Auntie Jen the notes yet. She might know as well, but I figured I'd ask you first.
Well, if we're going to be meeting her again at some point, it couldn't hurt to let me do some research.
You can copy it. Or you've
Already
probably already
did.
memorized. Yes, I know.
So, you all did a little bit of B&E. Somehow
We
managed
weren't
to...
the only ones that were breaking and entering.
That doesn't make it better, Vivian.
It's someone he knew at least, so. Gentleman Zoot Marlowe from Chicago.
Him. Right.
You know him?
I used to live in Chicago. That's where I'm
Well,
from.
just because you have amazing memory doesn't mean you know everyone in Chicago.
Yes, but he also worked with Mickey.
Kind of narrows her eyes. Oh, well. Maybe you should have come. He tried to shoot us. He didn't actually pull the trigger or anything, but he did come in guns out.
Maybe you all need to not immediately jump to criminal acts next time.
I don't know how to break this gently to you. Not all of us are as law-abiding as you. It was breaking and entering with good intent.
The road to hell is paved with good intent.
Oh. Very maturely just sticks her tongue out. I thought you getting a wife would have just calmed you down at least a little bit.
I'm not married.
The woman that was with you. Well, engaged, probably.
No. What are you on about? Are you talking about Dorothy?
Yes, the one she was with you at the party.
My secretary?
I'm gonna walk back out and then walk back in and pretend I said none of that.
Just imagine
Vivian.
she walks out and Model T pulls in.
I know you were gone for 5 years,
Yes.
but James died while you were gone.
Oh, that's his sister you spoke of.
Yes, he asked me to take care of her after he passed.
This makes it no less awkward.
I'm well aware, but I wanted to make sure the record was straight.
So, don't know anything about this blood circle or any rituals that might involve drawing
I'll,
circles with blood?
I'll
But you
some
do know Zoot.
research.
Oh, he's in town. Gives the information if you wanted to, check in with old friends.
Fun. I'm sure he'd just love to see me again.
Somehow I don't think that would be true, but
No, I'm just. He just points to the letter on his desk.
you're receiving correspondence. I'm not going to read your mail.
So you said this was a magic circle that was drawn in the blood of a victim.
Yes. Chaos rune.
How fitting that the star witness, the one that I need to keep this case going against Miss Estella Voss, suddenly died in his sleep.
In a blood-drawn circle?
Just randomly.
I
Perfectly fine health.
don't see the corroboration. I don't see how they connect. People die.
I'm aware. I deal with it every day.
Now, Vivian would recognize the name Estella Voss.
Oh, joy.
Y'all traveled in the same sort of circles.
Yeah, probably.
You didn't know her well,
Just knew she was
but
a
she
piece
had
of
a
work.
nasty reputation.
Okay.
A very 1920s mean girl sort of thing.
Honestly, if we could just convict her on reputation alone, she would have been in jail years ago.
Yeah, she would have. But
I'll see if I could
I'm gonna
talk to
deal with that
anyone.
now. As charming as you are, you've been gone for a while.
I still have friends. Maybe.
Probably a few.
I'll put out feelers.
It would help.
And at this point, the Model T pulls up.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to show up and have a talk too.
Well, they can
Lots of
show up
different
anyway. So.
fears.
Nope.
He'll just go open the doors, see them in the car, and is like, "Well, are
No,
y'all coming in or not?"
No, that's the joke. You hear a knock on the door, and then the Model T drives through the hall.
Jeez, everyone has so much faith in Teague's driving.
Do you know how hard it'd be to drive a Model T through a door? You'd be an excellent driver to pull that off.
Mhm.
Everyone's going inside. Teague is taking care of turning off the vehicle.
All right. So we will wrap
Oh,
here with
you
the
know,
group getting
T-
back together
Yep.
at Michael's
Mhm.
office. We'll pick up there next week.
It's actually a fairly nice office.
Oh, yes, you are fluent.
I'll
Uh,
make
Hope you
my
guys had
rolls.
fun.
Yep.
I
And-
Hey.
succeeded at absolutely the only skill roll I took tonight. I failed at. So
Okay,
Don't
That's
feel
okay.
remind
bad.
me, I
You fit it
roll.
with most everybody else.
Yeah, don't feel
Yeah.
bad. Every skill roll I rolled tonight, I failed at. So
Woo!
I didn't get any higher.
What is it? A D6 roll after when you
yes,
fail a
no,
roll?
no, yes, D6.
No. Okay. So you checked it. So you make your
It failed.
percentile roll.
Yep,
You have to roll higher than the skill.
I did.
All right, then yes, you roll a d6 and add that to the.
You
Okay.
can take the average of a 3, though.
That's right. You
I
can't
rolled
add
the
it.
average. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which skill was it that went up?
Stealth.
And you
He
did
rolled
something else,
one and
didn't
it's
you? A research or no?
I failed-
A spot.
I failed my spot roll.
You
Actually,
researched or
I made my spot roll, which means I didn't boost it.
His spot roll
What?
didn't go up. Yeah.
Okay.
my spot
Oh,
roll
okay.
did not
I got you.
improve.
I got you. But you
Oh.
checked it. That was the important part.
Yes.
You made the
yes.
roll. Okay.
Gotcha.
quick question. Just so I can see if I maybe get something. Can I utilize my eidetic memory power to see if I've encountered anything years and years and years and years and years ago back that's similar to this? The magic circle, given what you know of his backstory.
Yeah. Go ahead and make that roll. We'll let you make the roll now.
Okay.
And I'll, if you succeed, I'll get you whatever information by next time.
Nope.
nice trot though.
That's what it is.
It's just the trend for tonight. Probably means
Yeah.
next week. Probably means y'all will be on a hot streak.
We gotta
Yeah,
stage
okay.
the
No.
digital dice before then.
So the dice roller loves us, right, Jason?
You have
Dice
forsaken it
roller
for so
loves telling a
long.
story.
You have forsaken
Yeah.
it for so long. It's a little bitter. It'll get over it. Don't
Hey.
worry.
I never forsaked it.
Sarah, you got a research roll, didn't you?
I got a research and an insight roll.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
No.
Tune in next week and see if we actually roll under our skills.
Roll the
so
d6.
Vivian's insight goes up though
Yep.
by 2.
Okay.
All right, so let's get everybody's done their check skills.
Everybody who succeeded on a roll, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's what hurt it down so much. All right. Well, in that case, I hope anybody that came by and watched, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us next time. Again, I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me has been Patrick as Leo, Jeremy as Salvador, Carr as Teak, Eric as Mr. Anderson, and Sarah as Vivian. And we will see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
With care and heed the sign. Abomination. Ali's line. For in the night the shadow